YouTube, Shikun Shinobi here with a review of the Super Robot Chogokin Daizyujin from Kyoryuu Sentai Zyuranger, or Zyuranger, or any mix of the two. So this, to most US fans, European fans, or anyone that's not located in the Asia area, will probably recognize this as the original Megazord from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, which was adapted from Zyuranger, and everyone watching this probably knows that already. So, this is the Japanese release. It's no different than the American release outside of the box. The American release has the Power Ranger logo on it somewhere here. Megazord written in this gradient right here. And then the back is different. It has the Power Ranger logos and it says Super Robot Chogokin, Megazord, and stuff. So if you get it from like Big Bad Toy Store or something like that, you'll probably get the American boxed version. Whereas if you pick it up from HLJ or Ami Ami or CS Toys, you'll get the Japanese version of the box. So if that's important to you, know where you're buying it from. So here's the figure, and it's basically a 5-inch scale figure of the original Megazord Daizyujin from Zyuranger. Very awesome figure. Now this is one of those designs that's obviously very near and dear to a lot of people's hearts. A lot of people like it because it's a true design. It was a step up from Sentai Norm or something. I don't like it for those reasons. I like it because it was the first thing I've seen, and it, honestly, outside of Transformers, really sparked my interest in giant robots and gatai and stuff. So in that aspect, it means quite a bit to me. And it's replicated absolutely flawlessly in this figure. It is a gorgeous figure and a great figure. It has all of the basic points of Super Robot Chogokin's general articulation. You've got a full rotation here at the head, all the way around, just like so, along with the neck right here. Full rotation of the arms. They are squeaky joints. The ball joints are maybe metal. No, they don't look metal. But they squeak sometimes when you rotate them. I wouldn't worry about it too bad. Most of the time, if you just play with it enough, it'll go away for the most part. Up here you got the waist movement and a little bit of ab movement. If you extend him, like I just did right there, you'll unlock a joint here so you can get a lot of motion in an ab crunch. But if you want that joint hidden, you just press down and it'll close up the joint so you have a more coherent looking robot. Down here you've got a weird double joint system with this connector right here. Pretty snazzy ball joint system down here at the ankles. Tricera is a little bit loose for some reason. And then a double joint right there at the elbow, right there and there. And then you've got a pretty cool joint right here. So he's kind of like flexing or something. I don't know what this is exactly. I mean, it would be part of the transformation if this was like a deluxe robot, but it's not. But it's really cool that they included that joint right there when they didn't really have to. And obviously, as you can see, as I'm messing with this thing, the cannons in the back have a ton of rotation. They're two ball joints, so there's a ton of movement back here in the cannons. They do sit comfortably right there. They're not tight in there, but they do sit comfortably in that little groove, and then they just pop right up so you can be shooting. The tail has no articulation here or anything like that, but it is beautifully painted from the back as well. For those of you not familiar with the Super Robot Chogokins, they have released Shinkeno, the Samurai Megazord, the Titan Megazord from Mystic Force, Magiking. They've released the Deca Ranger Robo, the Delta Squad Megazord. I believe that's it. I feel like there was one more that I'm missing. Gokaiyo from Kaizoku Sentai Gokaiger, which may or may not be Super Mega Force. So, a really great line. If you haven't checked it out yet, I do recommend going back and taking a look at my other Super Robot Chogokin reviews. I have reviewed all of the Sentai robots. So, a very awesome figure. And as much as I was kind of nagging on it for everyone being Zong, MMPR Megazord, and stuff, it's a beautiful, beautiful figure. And it's the top of the charts with Super Robot Chogokin for me. This figure's near flawless, and I just can't help but incredibly love it. Everyone else had a tiny bit of flaws here or there, but I don't really see too much wrong with this release, and I just have to say I think it's perfection in Super Robot Chogokin form, and I can't wait to see the upcoming releases, like the Shogeki Toja and Daiboken and stuff, to see where those take us, because they've really perfected the art with this one, I think. So for accessories, you got a nice amount of little trinkets and things. For hands, you've got splayed open hands, and then you've got the weapon holding hands, as per normal. You have the God Sword, otherwise known as the Power Sword here in the US. So you've got that in nice detail. The Mammoth Shield, you got that. The paint right here is a little bit dark in my opinion. I think it should be a little bit lighter of a gray, but not too big of a deal. I think it looks cool. Then you've got two effect parts. You have a sword condom effect part that just slides right over the sword, locks into place. So he's doing the sword slash final attack. And then you have a beam effect part that shoots out of its little antenna up here. You just gotta line it up properly and just shove it in there. And then it splits apart, because it can do that, folks. I actually didn't know it could do that. You learn something new every day. You have to find the hole first. That's always helpful. This is both a review and sex ed. There we go. I had it going the wrong way. So you got that going. So you got like telekinesis beams and stuff. That's not exactly what it is, but it looks like it. It's cool. So yeah, pretty neat. Overall, Daizyujin is an amazing figure. If you're a fan of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and most people are, even if the first season and most of the later seasons kind of sucked pretty hardcore compared to some of the later Power Ranger seasons, it's still something that, despite being cheesy and kind of horrible to watch, is near and dear to a lot of our hearts, and for that reason alone, I can highly recommend this figure. If you're a fan of the design, regardless of what you think about Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, then still this is an absolutely incredible figure to pick up. The accessory count is, while not impressive, exactly what it needs to be given how fairly basic this mecha was in the show. The effect parts are a nice touch. The sword condom looks pretty cool in action, as well as the beam. So I have to give it props for that. It does come with exactly what it needs to. Articulation's top notch, and I just can't help but easily recommend this figure. Now, the Megazord has had a small figure recently in the form of the Retrofire Dino Megazord, as they called it, which is right here. And here's just a comparison of the two figures. Obviously, the Retrofire is a lot smaller and has that stylized comic book look to it. Now, this right here is roughly a $50 figure or so, depending on where you pick it up at. While this one was, I think, $14.99 at Walmart and stuff. So obviously you're in a hugely different price range. While this is a nice figure to play with and use as a little desk piece to fiddle around with when you're bored, this is obviously the much superior version, but it's really hard to directly compare the two given how huge of a price difference there is. This isn't a bad figure, it's just got a bunch of flaws. If you want to check out a review of this figure, go ahead and backtrack a little bit in my catalog, and by a little bit I mean a lot, to go ahead and check that out. But if you're trying to decide between one or the other, if you're even thinking about this one the slightest, pick up the Super Robot Chogokin. You won't regret it. Diecast is great, the accessories are spot on, it's incredibly accurate to the show, and it just looks like a very impressive and awesome figure. Now, I've repeated myself way too much in this review, so let's go ahead and give it a wraps. So if you're a fan of MMPR Zyuranger, definitely pick this up. No reason to skip it unless you just don't like these articulated figures, in which case, go get the actual Daizyujin toy or something. So, check out shukenshinobi.com for latest updates on my reviews and hauls, and of course, check out writersreasonsandrambles.com, the podcast bringing the latest token news in the craziest way possible. And of course, you can buy Daizyujin and more Super Robot Chogokins at cstoysjapan.com. So take care and have a great one. Bye.